Hello and welcome to this 5-minute anxiety video. In these little 5-minute videos we talk about things to do with anxiety, whether it be treatment, whether it be techniques to use, whether it be what causes anxiety, lots of different things. And in today's video we're going to talk about 2 specific techniques that I've found really helpful when managing anxiety. So hello and welcome, my name is Suzanne and this is Mood, Mind and Meditation. Today's video we're going to talk about 2 specific things to do with managing anxiety, and I found these work personally really well. The first one is the thought stop, and the second one is putting some distance between you and anxiety. So the first thing is, when you notice that you are having an anxious thought, because that feeling of anxiety does come usually from a thought that you're having, even if you've not recognized that thought. But once you've recognized that thought, let's say for example you are anxious about learning to drive and you're having an anxious thought about getting into the car and being in your driving lesson, and that creates feelings of anxiety, and physiology starts to show in terms of anxiety. Your heart rate increases, you start to sweat, start to feel uncomfortable, your tummy starts to turn, all of those things. So one of the things you can do is to do what we call a thought stop. And a thought stop is recognizing that thought and just telling yourself to stop thinking it. And what I tend to do is, in my head I create a visual of a stop sign. So you know what a stop sign looks like. It's a big red sign with white words in, or a white sign with red words in that says stop. So I visualize that, but I also in my head visualize myself taking my hands and doing this movement like a stop sign. So I do stop in my head, and that interrupts the thought pattern. So that's the first thing I do. What I tend to do when I've done that thought stop is I'll take a step back and I'll have a look at that version of myself that was having that thought. So that puts some distance between me and the thought that I was having. And another slightly different way of doing this is, rather than stopping the thought, is just noticing. So one of the things you might want to do is notice that you're having that thought and realise that it is just a thought, and say to yourself in your head, I'm noticing that I'm having this thought. And it provides some distance between you and the thought and helps you to process that and gives the thought less power. So that's what we're looking for here. We're looking at giving that thought less power. We will talk about in another video what we do after we've done the thought stop, after we've done the putting the distance in between us and the thought. But this is a really helpful technique to start to help you to get a hold of those anxious thoughts. Thought stop and putting distance between you and the thought. Noticing, just noticing. So I hope that's been helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.